Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to this episode of the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you in-depth daily coverage of your Green Bay Packers. New episodes drop every day, Monday through Friday, so don't forget to hit the like button and to subscribe so you never miss an episode. We all know that quarterback is the focal point of most NFL teams, and if you don't have a good quarterback, it's really hard to win in this league. And 2025 will be the third year that Jordan Love will be the starting quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. And I think a lot of people were disappointed with his 2024 season. And it's not that the numbers were bad, it's that the very strong finish, rather, that Love had in 2023, the fact that in the last 8 games of that season, he threw 18 touchdowns and just one interception, that everything just seemed to click for him after he took over as the starter, those last 8 games of 2023 and the great playoff performance against the Cowboys. I think there were some people who were expecting that elite level of play to be the new normal for him. And it may eventually get to that point, but, it very often happens in the second season of a starting quarterback's career that, they take a little step back. Defenses adjust. They've got more film on the player. And then the quarterback himself needs to make adjustments. And it's interesting because offensive coordinator Adam Stenavich, he addressed the media last week. All the coordinators did. And basically, he tried to lay out what he saw as the things that Love needs to work on. And here's what Stenavich said. For him, it's consistency in everything he does, improving accuracy, improving his footwork, and just really taking command of another step in the offense. We talked with all these guys doing a great job communicating with each other, quarterback to receiver, quarterback to offensive line, and just making sure everyone's on the same page with each other, not necessarily coach to player, but player to player. So if we break down this quote by Adam Stenavich, what are we really looking at? Number one, there's leadership. And Matt LaFleur addressed this at the end of last season after the Packers were eliminated by the Eagles in the playoffs. Basically, talked about Love needing to step up and be a more vocal leader. When it's your first year as a starter, especially if you're taking over from a future Hall of Famer like Aaron Rodgers, who had been there for so long, it's a little tough to step up and be that vocal leader right away. And I think Love did a good job of demonstrating his leadership, but now in his third season as starter, he's comfortable. It should be like taking that leadership to the next level. The footwork that Stenavich referred to and the accuracy, those two things are definitely related. And, Packer fans don't have to be reminded that neither Brett Favre nor Aaron Rodgers had the typical footwork that coaches tend to look for. Their unorthodox footwork, it did sometimes compromise their accuracy, especially Favre. I mean, he is the all-time NFL interception leader for many reasons, but footwork is indeed one of those reasons. It does sometimes compromise the accuracy when you're not, when both feet are in the air when you release the ball, or when you don't get a chance to step into your throws. The further downfield you're throwing, the more difficult it is to remain accurate if your footwork isn't good. And I think the footwork has been an issue for Love since the time the Packers drafted him. I know that they were working on it pretty much from day one, and it has gotten better, but I think he can improve even more in that area. And, the downfield accuracy, the accuracy on long passes needs to improve. Obviously, the receivers have to work on reducing the number of drops. That was a big factor last year where the Packers were among the worst teams in the league at drop percentage. And then the last thing I think that needs to be addressed is this. Jordan Love needs to find that sweet spot between taking too many risks, and I think he did a little more of that in the first half of 2024 last year, where he was just throwing downfield, sometimes into double coverage and into, ill-advised throws. So cutting down on that, but also not always just taking the check down, the safe play. So, you need to be able to read defenses well enough and then take those calculated risks. Nobody completes 100% of their passes. Nobody never throws an interception. There's always a few. But knowing which risks make sense to take and cutting down on the interceptions, but keeping the opportunity for splash plays there. That is the next thing, finding that sweet spot between safe and daring for Jordan Love. And again, with experience, with coaching, hopefully he takes that next step forward in 2025. And I think if he does those things, he can go from, he's already statistically a top 10 quarterback in this league. But if he improves in the areas we discussed, he literally can go from a top 10 quarterback in this league to elite and, Pro Bowl or all pro kind of a quarterback. And if he can do that and give the Packers, several years of that caliber of play, the sky is the limit. Don't forget to check out our website at thepackerspost.com. We have new articles dropping Monday through Saturday covering your Green Bay Packers. And hit the like button and subscribe here on YouTube so you never miss an episode. I'm Gil Martin. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody. And of course, go Pack Go.